Kim with Looks Like Social Enterprise. This is the live stream series of Guide to the Good, which is what I'm with, Community Foundation of Newfoundland and Labrador. Nicole is with. And today we are with Charlie Murphy, of the Executive Director of Quadrangle NL. Yeah, so we're here, hooray! And we're in the Quadrangle space. So, Looks Like Social Enterprise is a live stream series that shares stories of social enterprise in Newfoundland and Labrador, in particular ones that have this year, through the Community Foundation of Newfoundland and Labrador, received support to advance their efforts in all kinds of wonderful areas that make this province a better, stronger, more unified place. So, Nicole, maybe you can tell us a little bit about how Quadrangle fits into the IRP, the Investment Research. Sorry.
Investment Readiness Program.
Yes, yes.
There's so many acronyms to try and keep track of.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
For Quadrangle, how do they fit in?
Yeah, so the Investment Readiness Program is funded by the Government of Canada, and Community Foundations of Canada are one of the facilitators of that. So we, as the Community Foundation of Newfoundland and Labrador, facilitate the granting in this province. So we got to do that earlier this year. We had a little more than $300,000 that went out to nonprofits and charities across the province who are in various stages of exploring how social finance and earned revenue can support the work that they do in their mission in their community. So Quadrangle NL was one of the organizations that was selected, so we're really excited. First, Charlie, can you tell us a little bit more about Quadrangle? Because not everyone maybe knows all about it.
Yeah, I definitely can. So Quadrangle NL is our 2S LGBTQI+ provincial community center here for Newfoundland and Labrador. We didn't have space up until this point. Actually, we just opened in June 9th of this year. But prior to that, we were doing a lot of online advocacy and event-based work. So as I mentioned, being a 2S LGBTQI+ community center, we're here to basically allow for space for 2S LGBTQI+ individuals within our province to access resources, access individuals here for like building community connection or friendships, but also because we have the physical space, people can come in and look at our library, take a book home, access certain harm reduction pieces, come for like a high tea or a social, watch a movie with us, take part in our research that's currently happening. It's really about allowing for our community to engage with each other more in that kind of community-focused piece.
Yeah, and I think one of the reasons that Quadrangle was selected through the IRP was really the review committee really saw the importance, I think, of a space like that, and this was, I think, a great piece of work that you're working on to kind of figure out. This is your initial space, which is so wonderful, but I know you also have bigger dreams and ideas on kind of what that space can look like in the future, and that's part of what the grant for the Investment Readiness Program is funding. So if you don't mind telling us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so that's the really exciting piece too, is it's great for us to have this space that we're currently in. It's doing what it needs to do right now, but the bigger dream is to have a bigger location with more opportunities. So this idea that we have is creating an incubator for 2S LGBTQI+ businesses as part of a 2S LGBTQI+ community center. So for example, we do a lot of work with other organizations and other groups. So one of the things that we brought into our space was gender-affirming haircuts. But the concept of having that happen on a semi-regular basis is great, but it would be really magical if we could actually physically have a location that had a hair stylist constantly there from Monday to Friday, and that we could find ways to incorporate those businesses as part of our programming without us having to like physically develop those programs, but empower 2S LGBTQI+ businesses to have that kind of stable piece of their own work, but it would funnel back into the center. So they would pay rent, and then that would allow us to maintain a space, because space is expensive, but also if you have space to do certain things, the doors of possibilities kind of open up. And so we always use the example of a hair studio, but maybe it could be a library, maybe it could be a bookstore, maybe it could be a cafe, maybe it could be a lawyer wanting to do something with the 2S LGBTQI+ community that's part of the community, a doctor's office. It could really open up to any possibility. We're really just wanting to see how that could create stability within having a center.
Amazing. And this space is amazing. Already it feels so welcoming and beautiful and bright. It has a really good vibe. So I'm really excited to imagine what you can throw together with, the next level of the phase.
Definitely.
So this obviously fits into the social enterprise realm because you've got, people who are exchanging commerce or doing commerce for social good. So that is awesome. And how does that work into the IRP criteria? That's because there's social, there's cultural, and there's environmental themes that we go through. This one would be...
Yeah, so this one's really focusing on a charity who's advancing a really important social mission in the community. So there is a broad range of sort of causes and initiatives that are being supported through the IRP throughout Canada and in Newfoundland and Labrador, and this one is a really important social and kind of community connection piece that we know we need to move forward with.
Absolutely, and one that so many people want to be supportive of, whether they're particular in that community or not. So what are some of the things that people can do to support Quadrangle and Quadrangle's work?
Yeah, so some of those things, currently we have a monthly donor campaign on the go.
Yeah.
So we've kind of done some really basic and rudimentary math when it comes to if we had 300 people donating $25 a month, we could make, $90,000 a year. Which would allow us to have a stable staff person and support with our bookkeeping. And then there's other ways, if there are individuals out there who would like to invest or support us, reach out. We are always up for taking large donations, small donations, in-kind donations, anything like that. But then also just showing up to events that we're doing and also standing up for the community. I know we're seeing a lot of rise in hate right now, so being able to kind of also be part of those movements to support the community also supports us. And then talk to any of your MHAs, talk to our government elected officials to really push the need for stuff like this, and not just for one-time kind of one-year funding, but multi-year funding. It's really hard for us as an entity to do, that long-term change and impact when we're struggling year to year or when our projects are, again, year to year, right? You can't see long-lasting change in 12 months.
Yeah, it takes longer than that for sure. So some of the different projects that you do on an ongoing basis, do you want to share some information about those?
I would love to. So we have a lovely counseling program that we are partnered with the Jacob Puttish Memorial Foundation, and that's our counsel line, and that happens on Fridays. There's 4 free sessions, 60-minute sessions, and they can be either online through video chat, they can be text, they could be drop-ins, and that is something that currently was never really in our province, and that's province-wide. So that's a really cool program, and we're hoping to expand that at some point, because right now it's only one day, but we all know one-day drop-ins really is not going to solve the problem. So we want to make sure that we can do more. We do Wellness Wednesday, which is kind of the same thing, but it's more one-on-one and with a co-facilitator here at Quad. And so that can be, again, right now it's currently can be online or in person, and we're trying to see maybe changing that into group sessions.
Wow.
Yeah, to see if people want to come in and just talk as a group, because peer support sometimes is better in a group, but sometimes it still needs that one-on-one. And then we do things like high tea. So every other Sunday, people can come in for an hour, and it is kind of like peer support, but it's not peer support, because we only look at those kind of labels when it's a marginalized community. Not to be too out there, but straight people also talk to their friends, and it's not labeled as peer support. It's only called peer support when a marginalized community is doing it. And so that's a really fun kind of laid back.
What about the cookies in the high tea?
So it's not exactly like what you think with high tea. We kind of were making a joke because it's in brackets H-I, or H-I and then G-H.
Oh,
so we had it more so hi, like you're saying hello to somebody.
Right.
But yeah, we have cookies here. Actually, they're not super special. They're just the ones from Sobeys, but we still have cookies and juice and pop and coffee and tea. But those are really lively conversations. We've had people talking about some really heavy stuff, not having a good time at school or not really feeling accepted at home. But then we've also had some conversations where it's I really want to talk about this show, or I'm reading a really good book. Has anyone else seen this book or read this book? So that's a really cool program. We have a visibility program. So that is sponsored by RBC Foundation, along with our high tea and our Wellness Wednesday. And of course, we've given out so many items. We've got pronoun pins, hats, tote bags, flags, buttons, stickers, magnets. And to this date, we've given out over 40,000 items across the province in like two and a bit years. Yeah, and that's like to schools, organizations, businesses, individuals. So it's really powerful when you think about like people actually do want to support the community, and giving access to those resources really does allow for that to happen. We've partnered with the St. John's Status of Women for short-term counseling, so currently that is going, if that's full. And I should mention that our council line is actually funded through Bell Let's Talk.
Okay.
Yeah, and so that was like a one-time kind of grant for that project, but we're building off of that. We've got more funding for that from United Way and another organization, Kinder. So there's a lot of stuff that is happening with Quad, and we're trying to make sure that we're always kind of like pushing for more, because yes, it's great that we have what we have now, but those resources really need to continue going and not just, you know, again, one-off kind of a year. The council program, our counseling program is, at the time, was only for a year that we had funding, but we were inundated. We can't even promote that
Right.
because it's too much. So the time that Monday comes around to book, by Monday at 10:30, 10 o'clock, like it's full. It's only 4 spots.
Yeah.
So we're working really closely with the Dick Partnership Foundation to see like how can we make that more. Yeah, and then we're partnering with other groups to do other things. So we actually are now working with the Autism Society of Newfoundland and Labrador to do a peer support group with them in our space. We had this happen actually on Tuesday. We had 9 individuals come. It was really nice. It was lively. We're really all about partnering. So we've also done things like chosen family dinners, where we've had actual chefs come in and cook. And so we've done one during the holidays. We did our first one last year during December, and we fed 65 people and then an additional 20 people after the event with what was left, the leftovers. We kind of took it to other spots because you can't really just throw away a whole turkey.
No.
And then we've done more of those chosen family dinners. We did one on International Day Against Homophobia, Biphobia, and Transphobia. We had over 90 people at that one, and that was a wonderful event because we also had Spectrum Queer Choir. It was a lot has happened over the last 2 years with our organization, and it's almost like sitting here talking about it, I'm like, I could go on and go on and go on because the work that's been doing.
Well, people can look at your website or your social feeds.
Yeah, and it's full. So basically, we have our website, our Instagram, our Facebook, and our Twitter. So all of our social media handles are just at the Quad NL, so you can find us there. Yeah, and then our website is just www.thequadnl.com.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's good. And we'll make sure that we put the link directly to become a monthly donor in the follow-ups for this too, because as you can hear, this group is doing an immense amount, and so I think any resources that we're able to make sure to come that way goes a really long way in community. So anyone who's able, that's a great thing to be able to give a little bit each month to support what's happening here.
Awesome.
Thank you.
So I think we have had a great bit of insight on how Quadrangle NL looks like social enterprise, so thank you very much for that. Is there anything else that we should hit on today, Nicole? Are we good?
I think we're good.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So we will be back in a couple of weeks. We took a little break over the summer, but we're back now in September. We'll be back again in October with our next Looks Like Social Enterprise, and look forward to seeing it, talking to the next excellent group. You will find all of the Looks Like Social Enterprise videos on www.guidetothegood.ca/social enterprise, as well as the schedule of who's coming up.
Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's great.
Yeah,
And thank you for the
for
support.
hosting.
Yes.
Thank